today in your writing, your task is to use a colon in a sentence, okay? So a colon, this is something new to us today that we're learning, so it might be a little bit tricky and that's okay. Okay, now a colon looks like this. This is a colon, okay? It's a punctuation mark. And we would use it in a sentence to either separate a clause or introduce something new or explain something. And I'll go through those with you today. So a colon is like two dots here, and we can see it's used in the sentence there. It's not to be confused with a semicolon. This is a semicolon. Semicolon has a full stop and then a comma. Okay, so today we're learning to use these two full stops, okay, that make up a colon. So one way you can use a colon successfully in a sentence, it can be used to introduce a list of things, okay? So I'm going to write a sentence now to show you a colon used in a list. So I would need my subject, my noun. So I'm going to write a person's name. And at the start of a sentence, I always need a capital letter. So let's have Abdullah went to buy, B-U-Y, that's a homophone, went to buy three things. Okay, so Abdullah went to buy 3 things. Before I introduce what those things are, before I introduce the shopping list, I need to put my colon, okay? And then I'm going to write down what he's bought. What did Abdullah buy? He bought an apple. And then if I'm writing a list, I always remember I need to separate my list using a comma. An apple, comma, a watch, and a bag. Full stop. Okay, so I've used my comma there, my colon, sorry, to separate and introduce a list of things, a list of items. Another way a colon can be used is to separate a clause, okay? So remember, a clause is anything that has a subject and a verb, okay? So I'm going to write, they will not make it, okay? Because that makes sense by itself. They will not make it. But I need to now introduce an explanation to why they won't make it. And if I'm going to introduce an explanation, I can use a colon. They will not make it. And the reason why I'm going to explain, the storm is too strong. Dun, 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 and full stop. Okay, so there I've separated my clauses and I've introduced an explanation to why they won't make it by using a colon. Okay, it can also be used to introduce a quotation, okay? So if you have the first part of the sentence, your first clause, and it might say, the man said to his friend. Now remember, quotation is speech, okay? So it's like speech marks. The man said to his friend, colon, move away from the building. So I'd need my speech marks, move, open it, say it, punctuate it, close it. Okay? Oh, I've spelled building wrong. Always important to proofread your work. That doesn't need a capital letter, so I'll just change it there. So the man said to his friend, colon, move away from the building. Okay, so you can use a colon for those 3 things. You can use it to introduce a list of things. You can use it to separate a clause. Okay, and you can also use it to introduce speech. So when you choose your task today, you have a mild task and you will also have a spicy task. So this is the mild task. You have some sentences here and you need to rewrite the sentence to show where the colon will be placed, okay? So the man said it best. We are not afraid. Okay, so remember, a colon can be used to introduce speech. So there, your colon would go here. So you would need to rewrite that underneath. Okay, my dad hinted where the Easter egg was under the bushes. Okay, so in that sentence, choose where you think. Okay, so my dad hinted where the Easter egg was under the bushes. Okay, so think about what's the first clause that makes sense in that sentence, and then place your colon where you think it should go. Okay, I will look at them and I will respond to you. Good luck.